Alright, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is, of course, your broadcaster, HD StarCraft, and I'm here to bring you guys another StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm broadcast. And over in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player. His name is going to be Gojira. And down in the bottom left-hand corner, of course, I have my cousin playing here, representing Zergs worldwide. His name is Fa, and he is a red Zerg player in the bottom left. So, another Zerg versus Terran here, and kind of featuring these because he's told me already that his worst matchup is ZVT, so I'm interested to see how he's going to do here against another Terran player. He has lost 2 in a row already on my YouTube channel, which is okay because I think when I'm casting games, it makes it a lot more exciting when you just don't know, is he going to win or is he going to lose? So this should be exciting, and he is already giving out, whoa! Was that even necessary? Gojira here saying Fick Dick Zerg, and that was just in response to a GLHF. And I guess we're gonna be blessed with a little bit of early game banter here. My cousin saying Terran's good in HOTS, man. What are you complaining about? There's absolutely nothing to be mad about. Are you mad, bro? But Gojira here is throwing up a supply depot, and you know, a lot of times when I'm looking for a player who has a lot of trash talking in the early game, sometimes you expect him to be cheesy. So I'm looking around here, I don't see anything crazy yet, and Z is even more good than it was before, waiting still Infestor nerf. Well, hey, Infestors are pretty good. Dustin Browder has admitted it himself, but I don't think there's any real reason to complain about it, especially since my cousin doesn't even make Infestors against Terran, unless you go bio, of course. Are you one of those people that blame your losses on the game? Smiley face. So, Fa here taking the higher road. And obviously Gojira here has had a couple of terrible games. I think if we look on his match history, he's probably lost the last 10 games to a Zerg player or something along those lines. Probably very unhappy with the state of the game as it is, and just, I guess, doesn't really enjoy playing TVZ. But that is one of the 3 matchups here that you gotta play, and you are one of those people who play Z. Man, this is gonna be heated. And already got a little bit of, I guess, trash talking going on here, a little bit of rep on the line, very good deductive skills. And Gojira here going to be throwing up, what has he got, a second barracks on the way. So yeah, it's pretty common. You will see a Terran player get the 2 racks up, but will he get the gases right now in order to go up for early upgrades, or is he going to add on a couple more barracks and try to pump out more raw basic Marines? I have 11 beer intus and still IQ more than 1,000 times yours, so have fun. His power is over 9,000, guys, or over 1,000. So we gotta be careful here. This is gonna be a serious game of StarCraft 2: Heart of the Swarm. And will my cousin have enough beer power to compete against Gojira? We will see. A couple refineries coming up here, so Gojira is gonna go for gas upgrades. And probably gonna stick with bio because of course he did go with that second barracks. So like I said before, if you're playing against bio as Zerg, typically you do want to stay with Infestors because they are very good against biological from Terran. They're not the best against mech, but they are good against bio. So we'll see if is able to get a Zergling up there to scout out the double barracks, and of course tailor his build to combat that. He's gonna tag the Zelnaga tower for now. He will see a Marine and an SCV on the way, but he decides not to pursue. And it's gonna let the SCV and the Marine pass by. Meanwhile, he is gonna actually send one of the Zerglings around the backside here and give chase to that unit, that army, and now he's gonna send another Zergling back here. And I think right now he's just a little bit concerned because of all the early game trash talking. In fact, he's thrown up a spine crawler and put 2 queens at the front door right now. So yeah, I think right now he's a little concerned because of all the trash talking. Like I said before, whenever you play a player who has a lot of conversational skills in the beginning, you always got to be careful about that possible cheese. So he's got the Overlord here. He sees a few Marines, but nothing too serious. But he's just playing safe rather than sorry and has a spine crawler in position. So I think what he's trying to do here is say, I'm going to play macro. I'm going to be safe rather than sorry, protect myself from cheese, and then try to beat you in the macro game. And right now, what is Gojira going to do? Because we can see, obviously, he's not going to be uber aggressive. He's just gotten, you know, a little bit more Marine production than you'd normally see, but he has added on a factory here. And Fa now checking to see if there is a 3rd CC early on, but there is not, as the unbiddable plates is going to go down. Now, you know what? There is a tech lab on the barracks, and there is a reactor coming on the factory and a starport. So From this, for sure now, if we were confused before, we know for a fact that he is going to stick with biological play. The starport is going to be swapped onto the reactor to get medevacs out on the field, and of course Pho is going to get the Overlord in here, and he will see the starport and the reactor making on the factory. So at this moment in time, as a Zerg, you can then say, alright, you're definitely going to be going for biological play. I don't even need to see the 2 barracks at the front door to know that for a fact. Otherwise, you would be making a tech lab on the factory and going for either upgrades on the factory or getting a Banshee on the starport, but that's not the case. So we'll see what Pho does here back at home, but he is adding on 2 evolution chambers. He has a Roach Warren on the field, as we've seen him do countless times before, but he is not actually making Roaches this time around because he knows that he won't be fighting off against a Roach-based army, but there is a bunker coming up outside the range of vision of this hatchery, and actually I see a Widow Mine being produced right now as well, so Gojira is not swapping the reactor onto the starport to make double medevacs. He's actually using the reactor to make whoa! Alright, so he is going to be aggressive here. This is not what I expected at all, but he is going to be attacking with the heart of the swarm-based attack here with Marines, SCVs, Bunkers, Hellions, and Widow Mines, and medevacs as well. Is Pho going to be able to defend against this? He's gotten the creep spread down to the hatchery, but the bunker's already up, and of course when the Hellion's in Hellbat mode, it gets healed by the medevac as well, so this is not good, but the Queens can also heal themselves. They are going to be able to take up that Queen and bring her back up to full HP. Meanwhile, this attack is just raging on. It looks like the Widow Mine did go down there because Pho focused it down, not realizing that if that thing burrows down, then he's in a lot of trouble. So Gojira, unable to get the Widow Mine burrow down, meanwhile, has kept the medevac alive and has been able to kill off all the Queens. And Gojira gets the bunker up. I mean, he's had the bunker up this whole time, but he hasn't lost it yet. And he, keeps most of his army alive here. And with the bunker online, this hatchery is in a lot of trouble. I think Pho is going to lose this hatch. There's nothing he can really do about it. Gojira has too much army here. With the medevac able to heal all the units underneath, even though the creep is spreaded on the bunker, it doesn't matter. That hatchery is going to go down, and Pho not even going to try to save it. It's making a couple banelings right now. Broodlings coming out as well. But that is not a good start for Pho, and Gojira, the early game trash talking is going to be successful because he's able to take out the Zerg hatchery, and now he can just pull out of there and definitely transition into the mid game. Of course, this drone is going to try to become a hatchery, but it doesn't look like Gojira is going to let that happen, although he's going to be focused now on the Roaches and the Zerglings that are giving chase to his army. And that drone will be able to become a hatchery, but it's very late. You have to remember, right now Pho is only on 2 bases, and he lost his initial hatchery, so definitely a step back right there. But then again, you look at the Terran player, and you look at the income tab, you look at the supply tab, and he's not as far ahead as you would have thought. And I think a lot of the reason being is he committed so heavily to this attack. This is a bio with factory with, a ton of reactors. He's got 3 reactors here and only 1 tech lab, and that means he hasn't really been transitioning into the mid game. He hasn't gotten any upgrades for his biological forces. He's just purely being playing on raw Marines, Marauders, Hellions, and Hellbats and medevacs. So no real upgrades to his army here. Very much a tier 1.5 army, and he just now finished the macro CC. So he's not as far as ahead as you would have thought, and that was very much an attack designed to win him the game right there. But he only got the hatchery down, and right now Pho is double expanding to make up for the losses that he incurred. So we'll see what happens, and of course you can see that his upgrades are also far superior. He's already about to finish Baneling speed, Pathogen Glands for Infestors, Roach speed as well. And so Pho is actually winning quite heavily in the upgrade department. I'm just going to look at the spending tab right now. Technology, 3,800 compared to 3,100. Economy, 7,700 compared to 4,400. And as you would expect, the only thing that he's actually down behind in is Army. Now, we do have a massive drop coming in around the backside, but it looks like Pho did see that with his Overlord, and he's going to be able to pick off those 3 Marines, but there's nothing he can actually do about the 2 medevacs in the sky. So I think at this moment in time, Pho has to make a decision. Do I attack while these 2 medevacs are flying into my base, or do I bring my whole army back to defend? And it looks like he's going to get a couple of Spore Crawlers up, but the Spore Crawlers will not be up in time, so he's got to bring all of his Zerglings back home here as the 2 medevacs are unloading their cargo. And will Pho have enough here to defend against this? There is a Hellbat there. Hellbats are so good against Zerglings, and it looks like the Hellbat did go down there. but most of the Terran army was able to escape. Meanwhile, an attack on the ground here as Gojira is not giving up, not going to surrender. He has finished up stim combat shields and concussive shells, but he doesn't have the 1-1 upgrade, whereas the Zerg army does. And Fud gonna go in here with a lot of roaches, but doesn't actually have enough army to break through the Marauders and Marines. And of course, Marauders are so good against roaches with the ability to do extra damage to armor, but now the Infestors are out on the field, and that tier 2 unit available now for Fa, not available for Gojira, and the Infestors able to completely shut down the Medivacs, and those Medivacs are just staying around. They could actually get fungled again, and Gojira not pulling up a Fa, also not choosing to fungal growth. Oh my god. And finally there, finally realizes, alright, I do see a lot of Medivacs here, and I'm going to be able to get a fungal down, but he doesn't chain fungals, so I guess a little bit busy here reading the chat, and Gojira a little bit busy chatting up here, and it's kind of interesting that Fudd decided to start making some Infestors here, the unit that Gojira was complaining so much about. But of course, hey, if you're going bio, why wouldn't a Zerg make Infestors? And, oh! And so I guess Gojira saying, you happy using those Infestors, bro? But Fuzz like, well, it wouldn't matter if Infestors were nerfed or not, it would still not fix you from not sucking. I guess Gojira taking a little bit of offense to that. But this game is still, I guess, still kind of close. He's got the third command center. He needs to land it down and start mining at that location. But actually, if you look at the supply tabs, Fa is just so far ahead right now in the army, in the economy, 87 to 37. And that's what happens, I think, when you go with basically what Gojira did, like an all-in almost on 2 bases, because his tech labs were so delayed. He didn't have any upgrades for his Marines, his Marauders, his Hellbats. You know, he went with a pure tier 1.5 attack, and while he was able to kill off the hatchery, that's not enough to put a dent in the ability for a Zerg to macro and able to get back into the game. So Fa is just expanding like a wild man right now, and he's got 5 hatcheries. He's got a Roach Zergling tier 1.5 plus tier 2.5 Infestor army. And I don't know what Gojira can do at this point, but I think trash talking, that dish is going to be served right back at him here, because it's always glorious when you defeat a trash talker. And that looks to be the case right now for Fa. As he's taking control of the middle of the map, he's just flooding in with all sorts of units here, adding on an Ultralisk Cavern as well, now up to 94 workers. And this orbital command is in so much trouble. It's only defended by 2 Widow Mines, which will be able to take out a couple of Zerglings, but not really going to be enough when it comes to the Infestors. And the fungal growth going to lock everything down here. And Gojira is in trouble. Baba drops the preliminary GG. Oh, whew. I don't even know what Gojira is saying. I don't even know if he can speak English right now, but see you in RL. What? That's them fighting words right there. I don't even know what the point with that was. So interesting game right there, but able to take finally a victory in a Zerg versus Terran. I was expecting him to finally be able to do that in one of these casts, because he is a very talented player, and it rightfully so comes against the trash talker Gojira. But I'm a little worried now, because if he comes knocking on his front door or my front door, that's pretty scary. So don't come see me in real life. That's them fighting words. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the cast, and if you did, make sure to check me out on my YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at HD Starcraft. And I will see you guys in the next cast, and maybe I'll see you in real life. This is HD signing.